Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all ready for an exciting matchup. We've got the Group Y Game 1 of the Winners Finals between Zelgadissan and Osse101. They should be getting started any moment now. So we'll see just what route these runners go. Zelgadis is the 1 seed in this group. Osse is the 2 seed. And from forward to seeing it. And we'll see where they start when they get going here. It should be any second now. And we do see immediate divergence. Some bombs in Link's house, but Osse quits out right away. Just a map in Sanctuary. Those bombs will be nice if Osse's heading towards Kakariko. It looks like we've got a Desert Palace pendant and then 2 regular crystals by our tracker. I didn't catch all of that myself. So both runners are bypassing the lumberjack check. You don't see that a lot anymore unless they have boots, since you can't get it without the boots anyway. Looks like Tier 1 tree pull is just going to be 5 rupees for our runner, and then another 20 sitting here in the mushroom spot. And our bush crab is just some useless hearts. So yeah, our tracker there confirming that it is Eastern and Tower of Hera crystals in the light world. And Desert Palace is just a non-green pendant. Alright, so Zelgadis is going to save and quit out after Lost Woods to go by Link's house, gets those 3 bombs, so both runners will have some without having to farm for them. And we'll see Kakariko from both sides as Osse comes in from the north route and Zelgadis comes in from the south route. Is going to go ahead and grab that 50-50 bomb on the way through. Might see Zelgadis do some farming, or go by the bombable hut to get some more. Just more bombs on the race game. Won't be picking those up. Ooh, and we've got boots in Blind's hideout. And those boots will allow them the option to grab some more money out of the library. I missed if that was a 100 or a 300, but it was some kind of big monetary prize. Chat in our tracker saying it is a 300, so that's a nice little bit of cash to get. Well, there's another 300 in the well, so they won't have any issues with Zora money this early. Early lamp, that'll give us logical access to some places like the Vanilla Big Key location and Death Mountain if we get a glove. Also getting the hook shot out of the well. And the Bombos medallion to finish off almost the last new check in Kakariko. Osse will be able to grab the sick kid check as well since he's picked up a bottle. So pretty loaded Kakariko. Would be nice to get a sword or a bow this early, but Can't really okay, sure. Never mind. There's a sword. Just ignore me. Would have been nice to get a sword, and there one is. So Aussie gonna restock on bombs from the bomb shop in the south. And yes, Aussie is gonna grab that quick money. Makes sense with those boots. Pretty easy to set up a water walk to get to the Zora area if he wants to later.
Zelda grabs a bomber's medallion from the bottle vendor. Hello, by the way.
Hello, I'm joined by Revolving Ocelot, co-commenting with me for the evening. So we've had a pretty stacked Kakariko, as you might be able to tell from the tracker. Both runners have basically done the same checks at this point. Looks like Aussie's heading to South Shore.
Making quick work of that hookshot to clip through the block there and open the chest and get the lever pulled all in one go.
And Zelgadis heads back south to get that 300 as well, putting him over Zora money.
Yeah, when you've got a lot of the money checks still to do in the game, like Zora or getting into Palace of Darkness, and other stuff in the Dark Worlds, like the digging game, yeah, you're going to want to grab those 300 rupees. And even if you don't want to check this out, you may be wanting to buy a potion from the magic shop to make your way through Palace of Darkness. There's plenty of applications for money.
Oh, and there's a bow in, Light World Hype Cave, if you want to call this that instead of Paradox Cave. So that puts Eastern completely within logic now.
Well, it seems to be the case that Mini Modon Cave pays out way more than the actual Hype Cave. So, also making use of those boots is going to go over and check Ice World Cave. Pretty reasonable when you have got boots. Some runners choose to wait for the flus and make their way over there after getting flus, or just put it off entirely because it is just one item that's still pretty far out of the way.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, we're not going to be wanting to leave that behind. Cane of Samaria is almost always needed to get through a seed.
And Aussie does set up for the water walk by dashing out along the edge of that pit in that cave, and then just has to jump down a south-facing drop into water, and all of a sudden you can run on water instead of the normal swim very slow.
Yeah, normally if you are going to do the use of fake flippers, which is to dive into water and use the screen transition to put yourself into the swimming state, you won't be able to get into the waterfall cave because for some reason the game if you have flippers to get into waterfall cave actually looks for the moon pearl. So if you don't have the moon pearl, you can't swim into the waterfall cave by fake flippers. Of course, if you have real flippers, you can swim in anyway, but it's one of the strange quirks. There's a bottle on the ledge.
Yeah, with another fairy inside it. Aussie chose to let the fairy go in hopes of upgrading at the waterfall fairy for free and ended up with a red pot instead.
And a very, very tiny refund from King Zora. Unfortunate.
And we're going to see Fake Flipper over to Hobo instead on Zelgadis' side, but it's just bombs. Oh, and that sets up for the water walk to head back over. So it gets 1 extra check out of this. Osse heading over towards Eastern. Going to stop by the old guy's house first, but this is a crystal and you can full clear it, so no reason to put it off. And Master Sword and a glove.
Yeah,
so
that's nasty.
We've got access to Aga at this point, but not going to do that for a while because we've also got access to a ton of other stuff.
Absolutely not with Crystal Dungeons on the table. And we've also got East F Mountain available when Osse decides to, well, when either runners decide to go up there. So Aga 1 takes about 6 or 7 minutes to clear. It depends on the items you have going into the tower, really, and how fast you can clear it. But it's a significant time sink. And if you were to clear Aga 1 now, you'd be looking for the moon pearl on the pyramid. And really, if you're looking for the moon pearl on the pyramid, you're going to do every single item check you can do in the light world first before you think about that.
Yeah, both our runners do have the boots and did check the lumberjack cave, or did not check the lumberjack cave, so that could also be the moon pearl locked by Aga.
Oh, where did the boots pop up?
They were in Blind's hideout.
Okay, so a little out of the way to check the lumberjack then, but you'll probably be seeing some checks there on the way to Death Mountain.
Oh yeah, I expect so. I do think both our runners are going to clear this Crystal Eastern because they may very well have what they need. We need either the hammer or the mirror to get to Tower of Hera with our current item set. So either of those would be nice.
But at the very least, you still have all of Paradox Caves to check out, and that is a huge amount of items, 7 in total.
Yep, plus the Old Man and inside of Spectacle Rock for another 2.
Yeah, it looks like the big key is locked behind the lamp, and it's a vanilla location, so no getting around that lamp requirement. Of course, Osse and Zelda are both really, really good runners. They can make a way through the dark rooms with no difficulty at all. Any of the dark rooms in the game, but you know, just having the lamp makes things a little bit easier to get through. So you don't have to fumble around with turtles in the darkness in pod or anything. You can actually just see them and clear it just a little bit faster.
Yeah, Eastern's basically the first set of dark rooms most people learn, but even so.
There's a little bit of nuance to it, though. The back room with the Igor can be a little difficult. One method I see that's pretty reliable is to walk over to the right a bit, fire arrows at the little tentacle things that get in the way, fire some more arrows until you find where the Igor is sitting, then walk near it, activate it. When you see the embedded arrow in the Igor move, then shoot it again, and you get your small key.
Yeah, also worth noting, we haven't seen any part of Escape or Uncle yet. With that glove, they can also just drop down into the back of Escape for those 3 checks.
Alright, we have got Armor's Knights for Osse. He's getting in position for the quick kill. 3 hours to each Armor's Knight will take them out, and we're going to want to have about 2 in the remaining Armor's Knight to finish off quickly. It does go into the red state, which takes a little bit longer to finish off, but he gets the kill done nice and quick anyway, and gets his first crystal.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes straight for the mountain now, or if he does some of those escape area checks.
Looks like Death Mountain for him. I imagine if he's probably thinking, yeah, with Master Sword and Lamp, Aga's on the table, and if I do have to go to Aga, I want to do Escape at the same time. Actually, he's going to go to the back of Escape first.
Yeah, I figured this would probably happen before Death Mountain. I think you're correct that he'll do Death Mountain before Front of Escape, though. So he would need to... There's a suggestion in chat he might do it backwards. He needs the key for that, which he does find in the first chest, so that is now an option. Not going to do it. That does mean Dark Cross is going to have something because the map was in Sanctuary.
So also he saved some criticality. He's on his way to the mountain.
Yeah, we'll see if we get that Lumberjack check. Gonna do Bonk Rocks first, which makes sense. This is also on the way. And he's already back up over the Zora money threshold, even though already did the Zora check.
Yeah, not going to be hurting for money at all in this seed.
Well, chance Aga is required from this item. Let's find out. No, not for a heart container.
Yeah, runners are only on 5 hearts right now, but nobody's, even if they are still on 5 hearts after Aga 1, it's still pretty significant amount of time to dash over there, bonk against a tree, get that heart container and get out. It's not worth the time investment, especially in a vase.
Okay, so Zelda is going to run the, at least to the Dark Cross room. Probably stop there, but knows it's an item. It is, I think, a little bit faster to do it from the back than from the front, given that you were already in the back.
Yeah, I haven't timed it myself, but I just from the feeling, I think it is faster to go from the back than in front. You can't get all the way through the back of Escape to the front, though, because the door to the throne room is it's locked, unfortunately. So you always have to go by the front door to get there.
I admit I've never actually tried. Old Man also just has a heart container.
So we are being pretty much forced in the mountain now. Have you seen the Agina check yet from either of the runners? I doubt we have.
We have not. And I doubt we do until very last thing.
So 7 items coming up in Paddle's Cave. We're really looking for a moon pearl and a hammer or a Titansmiths here to avoid Aga 1. Something to get into. The hammer would be especially useful because that can get you into South Hair, and the moon pearl might be there anyway in its vanilla location. So we're starting off with piece of heart and 100 rupees. Not a very promising start.
Yep, either the hammer or the mirror can get us into Tower of Hera. But right now we can't get over there.
20 rupees and 300 rupees, so even wealthier this seed. Moon pearl, that's what we're looking for. Oh, piece of heart and fast shield. Oh dear.
Yeah, I believe we're now down to just Agina and Spiral Cave to avoid Aga 1.
I think Gossie's coming out here to have a quick look at Floating Island. Won't be able to grab it until much later, but worth checking out what item is there. It's just a big 20. Oh, and there's Spiral Cave as well, but yeah, Spiral Cave and Agina.
At least we have the boots for this Spiral Cave check. Walking through here always feels very sad.
Might be seeing some more fake flipper action actually. If Ossie chooses to go to Link's house, he might just do a fake flipper over to the magic shop and hand in that mushroom, then fake flipper back through the whirlpool and go check out Agina.
That's true. The mushroom is in logic. I forgot about that check. Might just be making the Aga play, though. Or no, the front escape. What am I talking about? I totally forgot that.
Yeah, he's hedging his bets at this point. If he doesn't find what he needs in the front of escape, he is going Aga.
Yeah, this is for him 6 items though, because he hasn't done that dark cross check yet.
Zelda grabs his moon pole. He's about a minute behind Osse at this point. Zelda does have the advantage of that hobo check. Out of logic, but that's something Osse may choose to do himself before going Aga 1, just because, you know, fake flipping to hobo is a lot faster than Aga 1.
Okay, let's see. So we know these are items. Up there's Mitz.
Time to miss. Aga avoided it at the last second.
I mean, technically not dead yet. There is one possibility still, but we could still have the infamous red bomb hammer.
Yeah, if there's no way to the East Dark World, you might want to do Aga 1 for that, but assuming you can get to the West Dark World, and there's a technique known as the Kern Jump, which allows you to do another fake flip, which will get you to the east side. Out of logic, but it's very, very useful if a hammer ends up being in pod or something. Of course, we could just find flippers somewhere, and that would get us over there too, but useful technique nonetheless.
And second chest in escape just containing 1 arrow for that bow.
Zelda is using that fake flipper technique to go hand in the mushroom. Another 10 arrows in the last chest.
Meanwhile, getting a mushroom check out of Zelgadis. Does a hard reset rather than grab that red potion to preserve the possibility of a fake powder later in the game.
And also he's actually going to check out Dark Depth Mountain first. Not bad, so he's got the hookshot to check out all of Hookshot Cave, he's got Super Bunny Cave, so there's 6 items he can grab up here.
He's got the cane if TR happens to be Bombos. Okay, so our other pendants look to be Misery Mire and Ice. I believe Misery Mire was the green.
And I saw a 5-6 crystal at Turtle Rock, and I didn't quite catch what the other 5-6 was. But hopefully our tracker should be keeping us on track with that. Shout outs to our tracker, Iceman F1, by the way. He's helping us out a lot with keeping track of all the items our runners have, and on Steam, all of these races so depend on our trackers. They do a lot of work.
Super Bunny Cave having one of the 2 best boomerangs in the game. Book out of Hookshot Cave. That's kind of interesting.
It opens up Desert Palace, and we can't get to the tablets yet, but we can access them with that Master Sword and an Ice Rod in Hookshot Cave. It's always nice to find an Ice Rod just outside Turtle Rock rather than, you know, scour the whole seed for it.
TR is Bombos. Could have, yeah, I mean, not on this trip up the mountain, but options for dipping in there once we get the hammer.
Yeah, dipping TR while missing a rod is never nice. It is, with the right key layout, it is possible to get all the way to Laser Bridge without the fire rod.
Yeah, which means it's not possible for the fire rod to be all the way on Laser Bridge. So Osse is following that book. Guessing we see the Agina chick as well, maybe?
Yeah, it's kind of oh, there's Craig medallion on the ledge. That might be useful. But unusual that he's going for
Hopefully
Desert
not.
Palace pendant before West Dark World.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. So Mire is a pendant, so hopefully we don't need that Quake. But so is Desert. So I see taking a bit of a gamble here.
Vanilla Cape and a King's Tomb for Zelda. Looks like he's going to go for the West Dark World checks first. So going to be having a look around Creative Outcasts, maybe pop into Thieves Town and Skullwoods.
Yeah, can check out Bumper Ledge, given that cape.
Okay, for 5-6 was Thieves Town. Thieves Town is always a nice early Dark World dungeon to complete, unless you're missing the hammer, in which case you might be missing an item in there. And leaving that big chest behind in Thieves Town is just like one of the worst feelings. Most of the time, it's nothing useful in there, but that like 5% chance it's or less that it might have a useful item in there, oh, it stings.
Yeah, normally you can kind of write off Pyramid Fairy when Turtle Rock is one of the 5-6 crystals, but we're only actually 2 items away from being able to do Turtle Rock at this point. And we can already do Thieves Town. So it could be a mirror or something back there.
Yeah, if Storm Palace being a crystal, mirror can end up in a funky location like that, or green pendant. Also continuing with the Desert Palace clear. He's grabbing that Craig medallion. I think there's an item on Land Murder, so I don't think he's picked up I think he's picked up both map and compass.
Yep, and if you're gonna go for this, you might as well go all in. Meanwhile, Zelgadis doing the front part of Skullwoods.
Yeah, if you don't have the firewall going to the Skullwoods, it's a lot of runners like to treat it as extended overworld. You just dip in, grab whatever you can, and get out again. It's very quick to get into Skullwoods if you're taking the portal from the West Dark World, and likewise, if you don't want to clear Thieves Town, getting the first 4 chests in there is also sometimes considered part of extended overworld. So also going for Ice Rod strats here on Landmers. Ice Rod strats are underrated. They do the same job as a Fire Rod, they're just a little bit slower, so gotta be better with your timing. Just can't quite get that last Land Murder, so this is going to be a 2 cycle. Or 3 cycle.
Well, deferred gratification on finding out if this was worthwhile gets the powder. That said, so gotta save the mushroom with that hard reset, so can, once able to get over to that spot, do a fake powder anyway.
Also going to check out Agina, find out if this whole desert check was a big waste of time or not. ₹20. So this has been a bit of a time sink for Osse. The powder might come in useful, but won't find that out for a bit yet. And all the other items in Desert Palace were nothing, really.
Yeah, short of that, it would have to be a pen seed for that to have been tremendously useful.
Alright, Zelda making the play into Fuse Town. No hammer, so hopefully either he doesn't find a map and compass, or the small key is locked inside a big chest, in which case he can never grab it.
Well, it's 2 items in the front already. At most, you can have 3.
And that's half magic. So it's going to be map and compass in the back, and probably small key locked by itself, so Zelda's not going to have any problems here. Having the boots is nice for Fuse Town too, because you've got that small chance of being able to get up in the next room after this with 1 dash. But you've got to be pretty lucky and precise for that. So let's see if he gets it. Oh nope, that weird anti-fairy monster gets in the way, and he's got to go through with a couple more dashes. I forget what he called those monsters, but they look like the giant translucent anti-fairies. A bit of a Crypto Pinball action there in the Skull Woods for Osse.
Well, if I'm the small key in blind cell, I'm going to blame you for cursing it. And Osse going to continue clearing out the front of Skull Woods, which we know from Zelgadissan's earlier visit is full of nothing.
Yep, that's the map.
Yep, so that confirms that the small key is in the big chest, so not going to get punished for not having the hammer. So I believe the last item is actually on blind.
This should be a pretty easy blind kill.
Yeah, as blind puns go, that was one of them.
Zelda takes a little bit of a hit there, but he also blocks a fireball with a fire shield. Probably the only place in the game it's useful, so it doesn't quite stay on script, but nice quick blind kill nonetheless. That's second crystal for Zelda, and Osse is lagging behind just a little bit due to that Desert Palace clear. Tracker isn't updated yet. We're having some problems with the tracking software right now, where Iceman is clicking those buttons for us, they're just not appearing. So we're trying to get that fixed. I did not know you could actually dig right by the NPC. Well, nice quick red boomerang for Zelda, and yeah, he's grabbing that and taking it away. Having 1 boomerang is nice, but generally prefer the blue boomerang over the red boomerang. It's less laggy.
Yeah, although in the new glitch category, the red boomerang is useful for some of the splash deletion setups where the boomerang is not.
Oh yeah, because you get those extra sparkles with the red boomerang, which Helps for getting enough sprites on the screen to delete your splash sprite, so you can fake Flipper. 50 rupees from Stumpy, and Zelga's got so much money that he might just give it to the frog that's following him. And Osse actually also going to do the frog water before going into Peace Town. Probably worried about that lack of hammer.
Yeah, a lot of runners do really like to try and put off Thieves Town without hammer as long as possible. It is brutal if you actually get punished with an item in that big chest.
Blue Mare in the back of Hype Cave, and Zelga was practicing his turning around the chests there whilst opening them. But nothing is for there, so he's just saving quitting.
Well, I guess the blue mail rescues that from like a negative score, but not by a lot.
Yeah, you give it some value. I guess extra value because runners don't have too much health yet, but eh. They can get through this entire scene with probably 8 hearts and green mail with no problems at all. Just don't go hugging Ganon and all is good. Okay, handing that blacksmith, see what we get. More money. This has been one of the wealthiest seats I've ever seen in the first hour.
Yeah, that was a better investment than Zora. Give 10 rupees to get 50 instead of giving 500 to get 20.
Right, Zelga checking out the Dark Mountain now. Osse's already done this, so this gives him a little bit of time to catch up, although that Desert Palace play was a really big time sink.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they end up heading next. I'm guessing we see Ossie clear out Thieves.
Yeah, I think Zelga might choose to maybe make his way over to the East Dark Road and check out the pyramid, catfish, dip into pod. Can't clear pod without the hammer, but it can pop up there. He's going to have to glitch his way over there, of course, but because otherwise he'd be expected to kill Agawon, and nobody wants to do that. He gets that Bomber's medallion knowledge about Turtle Rock, but can't get there without that hammer, so no chance of checking early part out for items.
I'm trying to remember what other checks are even available.
I am thinking it's going to be East Dark World at this point.
Yeah, which would make this logically a Aga seed, even though we won't actually see, Aga die.
There's the purple chest too. Looks like Zelga's going to be taking that book over to Desert Palace and getting the Craig medallion from there, and that's about it. So, yeah, this is Ozzy's time to catch up now. I have no idea what that Phoenix sprite sprite was doing when reading its habit.
Probably objecting to something.
Right, so we're kind of timing Osse and Zelda here, who finishes their dungeon first. I'm giving the advantage to Osse right now, because Zelda, he's got to go get that map and compass from the right side. He's also got to go to the back and kill Lamolus. And grab the crate from the ledge and check out Agina, which is nothing. So yeah, Chad does bring up that Zelda might choose to just skip Lamolus because it is just a red pendant, not even the useful pendant. Can't count out pedestal just yet, but there's a decent chance that pedestal isn't going to be acquired this season. Oh, but Valis could read it now if they wanted to. Honestly, if there's Hammer Starvation, I could actually... I wouldn't be surprised if one of them did check out the pedestal straight away just to make sure that this isn't like a pet seed to begin with.
It's kind of a pain to get over there, though.
Yeah, I guess if he wants to go back and get the purple chest, he could route it on the way, but yeah, it's a bit inconvenient. Mossy takes down Blind with no problems at all. Zelgadissan grabs his Craig.
Yep, and is going to head back to kill Lanmo.
Obviously making use of a spin speed on the Thievestown stairs to get some extra speed. I actually haven't seen that before. But he does run into a thief and lose his spin speed, but useful to see that. And yeah, looks like he's dashing over here to prepare either a current jump or splash deletion. Most likely the current jump.
Bow is splash deletion.
Oh yeah, he's firing his arrows, he's dropping bombs. There. Got in one try. Very nicely done. So that's Aga 1 skipped for Osse. Let's see what he grabs over here.
So that's a pretty new glitch. So for those in chat who have not seen it, the way that essentially works, to my understanding, is that you overload the what's called the ancillary sprites, and the game never does the splash animation when you jump in. And since it never did the splash, you must be able to swim.
I gotta point out that Osse threw the skull rock there outside of the circle of rocks and it still activated catfish. That's a new one to me too. The catfish's hitbox must be like a square rather than the circle implied by the rocks.
So there are like a bunch of different setups for the splash deletion thing. The ones I know of are bow plus bombs or cane of Samaria plus bombs plus red meringue. But I know there's a bunch more in the Discord if people are interested.
If you ever have a question about Link to the Past Vando or glitches in Link to the Past,
Oh,
hey,
and there's the
yes,
hammer.
I'm on the pyramid. So Aga 1 required.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, if you ever have any questions, please do check out the Link to Past Randomizer Discord. They're very helpful over there. They'll answer any questions you have, help you if you want to start running Siege yourself. It's a great resource. So is Zelda grabbing purple chest or is he going to make his way east too? He's grabbing purple chest. So unless it has something useful for Zelda, it's going to be putting him behind a bit more. And obviously now having the means to fully clear pods, just go straight in there. A container in the first chest, so this is bow locked. $20 rupees in the purple chest, so Zelda, I believe, has no more options now. He's pretty much done everything he can, including out-of-logic flippers checks.
Yeah, I don't think that he's likely to have trouble doing the trick that Osse did at all, but it is going to take him time to get over there.
I was quite confused by the fact he's running back to the center of Hyrule, but then now he takes 7 crit. I think he was just spending time on whilst deciding what to do.
Yeah, was heading kind of towards that portal. May have just forgotten that no hammer yet for a moment. I think Zelgadissan does actually still have a fairy. Osse threw a fairy away to get a free red potion. I guess I could have seen it in the menu just there, but I didn't miss it.
Yeah, I've seen 2 bottles so far. The second bottle was on the ledge. That also had a fairy in it, but neither of our runners have taken the time to grab that.
Yeah, so Zelgadissan has out a bomb, so might be preparing to do the little cooler looking queern jump. Yeah, there it is. So nice demonstration for the crowd of 2 versions of how to get across this river.
Both pulled off very quickly in one attempt. Very nicely done by both our runners.
Yeah, that's the timing on that is not like super forgiving. That was incredible to watch.
Also putting off a hammer jump to get to the big chest and pod. Not that necessary in non-key sanity, but it makes your trip through pod a little bit quicker because it means you just have to go through the dark maze once rather than twice. Can also save a key if you want to try and skip some chests, so depending on key logic. He did use one small key to get a key in the harmless hellway, so that was a waste of 1 key, but he gets his items from the dark maze and is now on his way to Helmasaur.
So Zelgadis is going to get the hammer before going into pod, fortunately. I am guessing we see him join Osse in pod since they're right there and can full clear it.
Honestly, the seed has turned into quite a bottleneck, so we're probably going to be seeing both Zelda and Osse make all the same decisions now. Osse just has a few minutes advantage from, I believe, having just skipped the hobo check, and that was it, really. So it's now just going to come down to execution.
Yeah, I don't think Osse did the purple chest either.
No, he didn't. So he's missing on hobo and purple chest, but that's it. And if he grabs a mirror somewhere, he can just root into hobo so much quicker. I'm going to need the flippers from somewhere, because this is a Swamp Palace crystal. Maya is a pendant though, so we could be skipping flute. Flute is really nice for handing in the purple chest, but so Ossie may not be choosing not to do purple chest at all unless he's like really starved for items.
Yeah, so to kind of reset for people, since unfortunately we are having some issues with the tracker, I believe for Go mode right now we need the mirror, the flippers, the fire rod, and I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it, I believe is it for my count. Might need another medallion for Mizu and Maya if there's like an item lurking in there that we do need, such as that fire rod or mirror.
Yeah, I mean, other items could lock those items, but those are the items we're looking for.
And our pendants are Desert Palace, Maya, and I forgot the last one. This is why
Desert Ice and Misery Mire were our three pendants.
So if you find Flipper somewhere, we can get into Ice Palace and clear a way through that with a Bottomless Medallion. I think that pretty much means the only thing Pedestal could be is a Fire Rod.
It could be the mirror, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be the mirror too. But it's really going to depend on where runners are funneled into. There's nothing really important for Ossie. So he's got a hammer and he can do a lot more checks now. Like, he's going to use this powder here to check out the magic bat. You can save that mushroom for the magic shop check, which wasn't anything for Zelda. Just a piece of art on the magic bat. And Ossie is running out, so he might be making his way into Dark World here, checking out hammer pegs and grabbing the purple chest in one fell swoop. This would be a good time for him to check out the pedestal as well if he so chose, but it doesn't look like he's going to, given he's gone into the right-hand entrance into the Lost Woods.
That's a long way to walk for a peek at an item.
I am curious why zelgadissan unleashed a fairy there whilst he was hammer jumping over to the big chest. He wasn't low on life. Oh, he wants to death warp to the front, right, so he's just burning himself on these Kodongo fires.
Oh, and there's our flippers. So that can, I mean, we already knew it, but that just further confirms that AGA requirement. I believe that also fully brings ice into logic for our remaining two items, and Fire Rod loves hanging out in Pendant Ice.
So this purple chest routing is actually working out really well for Ossie. He can just go straight to Swamp Palace from here.
Not without the mirror.
Oh yeah, true. For some reason I'm starting to think flippers equals mirror. Can swim out a bit, he can't actually warp in there. Could have checked out the well, no, okay.
Okay, it looks like this this is gonna be a Tower of Hera check. Can also grab the ether tablet. So yeah, going to be 3 items over here between the 2 in here and the ether tablet. So decent chance of finding one of our 2 remaining needs.
And possible chance at a coffee break, which some others do appreciate when you have an hour into a seat. Oh, there's Ethan Medallion, so that covers all of our medallions now. We can get into Missing Maya once we find the flute. Not that anybody wants to get into Maya, but just yet. But
yeah, and that was fully vanilla ether, so fun times.
compass in the basement, so Ossie's probably going to use another recent trick discovered called... oh no, he's actually going up the regular way. Never mind.
Yep, found that big gate. Probably, I don't know if you skip it at this point, given the item hunt situation too. You're really risking something being locked in the big chest. If that had been the small key.
But even with a big key there, some runners like to use a recently discovered new trick called the hair pots to just instantly get to the top floor of Tower of Hair. Sometimes if they did grab the big key, they will just jump down anyway and check out the big chest, but if you can get a hair pot in one try, it does save you a little bit of time compared to just climbing normally. But if you're taking like 2 or 3 attempts, then yeah, just climb normally. That will be quicker. So he grabs a hard container from there.
Yep, and gets the small key out of the big chest. So
Oh,
rooting for that last item to be on Moldorm. Zelgadis is heading into ice.
yeah, gutsy. Very gutsy. So there's 3 possible items Zelga can grab in Ice Palace. One of them could be on Coaster. If he grabs all 3 of them, he might go all the way to Coaster just to finish off that pendant.
And the last item is in the basement in Hera.
So enforced break for Ossie coming up, right up.
I mean, he could leave it, but okay.
He's leaving it.
Oh, right. We have the hammer now. We can dip Turtle Rock. Both our runners going into different pendant dungeons.
I believe Turtle Rock is one of the 5-6 crystals, actually.
Oh, right, but we don't have the fire rod. Sorry, I'm blanking myself here. So if the fire rod's somewhere in here, this is really good for Ossie.
We're just getting off memory here, so quite excusable. So yeah, if fire rod isn't here, then this kind of sucks for Ossie, but he may get other useful items in here like mirror, so it might be a forced double dip anyway.
Yeah. Of course, might also just be like compass on the left side, and he might be leaving very soon.
Yeah. It all depends on the small keys in here. I always like to compare Turtle Rock without the fire rod as compared to Alice in Wonderland. How far down the rabbit hole can he go? How far into the dungeon can he get whilst your keys hold out?
Yeah, at least a little further. Depending on the layout, you can get all the way to the end of Laser Bridge, so...
And the fire rod can be there. Also the ice rod in 9 out of 10 cases. But luckily we got bats and hooks okay already.
And we continue on.
deep into this rabbit hole we go. Yeah, chat points out that Mimic Cave is also blocked off with no mirror, and Firewall could be there, and that would be really awful for Osse. Oh dear, there's a Firewall actually, right there in Ice Palace. So, Pendant Ice required. This is big for Zelda. He took a gamble going in here, and that gamble has really, really paid off. He's still continuing on though, he wants more items.
I mean, you're already this far in, you might as well get the rest of the items to not have to come back. Oh my.
Okay. Is that go? No, that's not go mode for.
No, he needs to get over to hammer pegs. He hasn't got the flippers yet.
Oh yeah, right. Flippers from hammer pegs. Okay.
And
so yeah, that's no mode. That is amazing. One pendant ice.
I mean, so even if Osse heads over there, which not unlikely, ice is a pretty reasonable play from here. Even in that case, he needs to not get baited into leaving upon finding the fire rod.
High five from our runners here, going in opposite directions. Osse's heading into Spike Cave, Zelda into Tower of Hair.
Yeah, that mirror is going to make this a lot friendlier to route than what Osse had. But Zelgadissan is going to probably start full clear in places until finding the flippers. So, going to be a chance for Osse to catch up.
Yeah, Hammer Pegs is a bad location. Yeah, Hammer Pegs is a bad location considering he already has done Purple Chest. It's very isolated from anything else.
He's still got Magic Bat because he couldn't do that either, so those are together, but yeah, not great.
Also, he's heading over to check the Hobo now. He's probably going to go into Pendant Ice from here too, so really, Zelda doesn't have much of an advantage here. Osse's in fact going to get into Go mode shortly if he does go into Pendant Ice.
Yep. Assuming he does continue on after finding the first item, which I'm guessing he will for the same reasons that Zelgadis did.
Yeah, he did nope out of Tower of Hair without checking out that basement, so there is a chance he nopes out after getting that fire rod, but it's slim. It's very, very slim. So for Zelda's best chance here is after clearing out Tower of Hair and Turtle Rock is to just head over straight to Hammer Pegs before anything else and grab those flippers.
Yeah. Both of them got kind of bounced by Mulder on their first try to jump onto the platform.
Thinking about Zelda's routing here, he can clear Skull Woods, and that is a crystal. He can't get into Storm Palace without those flippers, obviously. He can't get over to Maya without the flute. So he might well be directed to Hammer Peg sooner rather than later, actually. He's may do some mirror checks first, like K45 and Graveyard Ledge, but that can kind of like be done in a general rest route along with Hammer Peg, so I think it's pretty reasonable that he does get it before too long. But we're just going to have to wait and see, because he is going to have clear a whole ton of rock first.
Yeah, he's also getting the basement item that Osse skipped. Which, for his sake, hopefully this is something that will save time the rest of the way, a sword or silvers.
And the nice thing about going into Turtle Rock is that Go mode Turtle Rock isn't really any different from non-Go mode Turtle Rock, so Zelda's not going to be losing any time there checking out all the items. Yeah, once again, apologies for the non-functioning tracker. Iceman F1, our tracker, is clicking all the buttons, so as soon as the tracker is working again, you will be seeing a whole bunch of items light up on their trackers. But for now, we're just going by our heads. Nothing in the basement for Zelda. The best thing for him at this point would be to get a tempered sword from one of these additional checks. Because I imagine Ossie's not going to do. He's not going to go out of his way to try and find tempered sword. He's just going to check chests that might be incidental to him, like stuff in Ganon's tower or.
You know, Zelgadis is going to get to clear Turtle Rock. Ossie's going to have to come back over here because eventually got stopped by not having the fire rod.
So if Zelda grabs tempered sword or silver arrows from any of these extra checks that he may do, that's going to be pretty big for him. Once he grabs that fire rod, he is continuing on, so he's going to be in go mode pretty shortly. Alright, Ossie grabs that mirror. He is now in go mode at 1 hour 5 minutes. So now the race is on for Zelda to get to those hammer pegs and grab those flippers. And Ossie's going to head straight over to Skull Woods and finish that off first.
Yep, and probably not going to see anything except Mothula here. Already cleared out the front fully. Not going to bother with the chest under the entrance to the back, I'm sure. Just for an update on what Ossie has to do after Skull Woods, still needs to do Swamp and then Turtle Rock for the 7 crystals. But it'll be go mode Swamp, so pretty quick.
Now Zelda knows he's checking this out of logic because he rented Ice Palace without the flippers. He got his fire rod and flippers there, so he knows that wherever the flippers are, they're not going to be locked by the fire rod or mirror. So he knows he's not going to find it here. And he knows the flippers aren't going to be in places like Graveyard Ledge or K45, so that actually limits the amount of places he can check. If he finds the flutes down here, he's not going to be checking up Maya for the flippers. So it's actually pretty limited what he can do. So I think he's going to be over to hammer pegs sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's entirely possible, and then we have an execution race to finish. I'm hoping for that. Ossie on the Mothula fight.
Must point out that Zelda also skipped out checking the big chest, so he's gambling on his last small key being on Laser Bridge. If it's not on Laser Bridge, then he's lost a little bit of time here in Turtle Rock because he has got to go backtrack.
little bit of trouble with Mothula deciding to just hang out on the spikes for a while, but gets it down when eventually the moth decides to cooperate.
Yeah, he's been attached lights to those spikes with the way Mothula likes to hang out around them. Alright, laser bridge, starting off with a compass, piece of heart, 20 rupees. Oh, one last chance for small key here. There it is.
That would have been very rude.
So Osse heading into Swamp Palace, he's not going to be doing anything like checking out left side for Tempered Sword or anything, but as mentioned before, getting Tempered Sword or Silver Arrows is going to be a massive boon to runners, so they may well be checking out extra items to try and find out. It will save a significant amount of time on Ganon, because Master Sword Silverless is slow. And Trinex himself with just a Master Sword is also pretty slow. Zelga's actually going for hammer strats.
That's a nice hammer Trinex.
And a few swipes in time for Muse. Hey, there's a Tempered Sword. That's big for Zelga. That's going to give him quite a bit of advantage in clearing out the rest of his dungeons. Something that Osse's not going to get until he goes to Turtle Rock as his last dungeon.
Yeah, that'll definitely help on Argus in particular of the fights that are left. But it's also nice for Mothula, especially if the moth cooperates a little more than it did with Osse.
Zelga's going to Spike Cave now. Osse also did this.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's such a pain to check later.
Osse making his way into the basement of Swan Palace. This is one of these optional checks that he might see him do. He will drain the water here. He might go to the south for the 2 chests, see if he can grab a sword or silvers there, or he might just go to the north and forget about all of it. Yep, he's looping south.
Yeah, I don't blame him on that Master Sword Silverless. It is not long to do these checks, and it is a huge time save to get either tempered or silvers.
Alright, Zelga has save and crit to Sanctuary. So if Zelga's thinking about the logic properly, he knows he's got to go to hammer pegs, and that what he needs is probably in there. That being what he needs is the flippers, of course.
Yeah, and then it'll just be a pure race from here.
Doesn't waste any time in checking out that pedestal. He knows he can't be a pedestal because Ice Palace is a pendant.
Yep, and well, obviously got things from there. It wouldn't be logically on there.
Also taking on Argus now, making nice use for Master Sword spins to take out the little puffballs around Argus. Hookshotting 2 of them at a time, then using the spin to take out both of them. Zelga grabs his flippers. He's in go mode at 1 hour 13 minutes, about 8 minutes behind Osse. He does have a Turtle Rock crystal advantage, but Osse's about to tie up those crystals with Swamp Palace.
Well, Osse now just has Turtle Rock to go. Zelgadis has both Skullwoods and
Swamp,
yeah,
right, yeah.
Which might still be quicker in aggregate. but Ossie's also going to be doing the climb to get to TR, and we'll be right there by GT. Zelga's going to have faster fights with Mothula and Argus, probably. Almost certainly on Argus, with Mothula, as long as the Moth doesn't do something crazy.
So it is still really close between our runners.
Yeah, I think it could be either player's game. It could very well come down to like GT routing, any kind of small mistakes, that kind of thing.
Ossie is still looking for a sword, so he may choose to do Mimic Cave, which Zelga skipped out on, to try and find that sword. The sword he's looking for is on Trinex, of course. There's a chance for an extra sword in Mimic Cave, which would put Ossie on Gold Sword, which wouldn't be bad for him. It does make Ganon pretty easy and lazy. Still going to have to do Silverless strats on him.
Yeah, I mean, it could also have silver arrows. Where finding a sword in Mimic Cave would actually help is on Trinex.
Oh yeah, Gold Sword on Trinex helps a lot. So yeah, Zelga has a really quick Mothla kill.
Yeah, I mean, Skullwoods took less time than getting up the mountain did. So that was a decent amount of time saved over the Master Sword fight Ossie had to do, where the Moth kind of hung out on the upper left corner.
It's going to be super tight between our runners. Execution is going to make a critical difference here, and maybe Ganon's Tower Rooting too. So our runners could choose to do, say, Dark Magician, go to left, try and find a key, then go to the right. They could try to grab a key on the right first in Hope Room and then continue right, or they could just go full left, or if they're feeling gutsy, full right. But typically never see that. There's a few choices you can make in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I think at this point that Ossie's probably going to enter GT a little ahead, because Zelgadis is going to have to do the climb as well. But I'm not even sure of that.
It is really difficult to tell. It is going to depend a bit on if Ossie checks out the big chest and Mimic Cave, because that small key was right at the end of Laser Bridge. Of course, if Ossie finds something useful in those boxes, he swings ahead again.
To catch up those just now joining us, we are having a little trouble with the tracker app. However, both our runners are in their last crystal dungeon. They're both in go mode. Zelgadis appears to have a sort of advantage, but it's actually on Trinex, so Ossie is going to get that.
The tracker app is working. All the buttons are clicked. Our tracker has been clicking all the buttons quite faithfully. It's just the interface isn't updating, so they're not popping out here on the stream. So our tracker's doing excellent work, you just can't see it, fortunately for him.
And I think we're going to have an exciting race the rest of the way. Hopefully they're like both entering the gauntlet around the same time. I would love to see that.
Oh, yeah. And both zelgadissan and Osse101 are really, really top runners. So this is going to be super close and will be great to see. Yeah, Ossie did not do those extra checks, so he's going to get his last small key from the end of Laser Bridge. If he does choose to do Laser Bridge backwards, he will save a little bit of time. Some runners like to do that. Okay, starting from the front.
And Zelgadis skips all of the checks here because of already having Tempered Sword. Doesn't even get the one in that waterfall room.
Yeah, he is saving himself time that he really, really needs. Also having a little bit of top of Laser Bridge here, getting low on health, busts out that cape to get the last chest done.
Yeah, it does have a red potion you can fall back on. Also has the powder, so it can powder an anti-fairy to get a health refill real quick.
Yeah,
And
it's going for the powder. I don't think Zelda has that red potion. He does, in fact, yeah, he just has an empty bottle. No fairy, no red potion.
You released the fairy to do a death warp in pod, I believe. The tempered sword advantage on Argus versus Master Sword is shown off pretty nicely there.
Zelda has his last crystal. He's got to get up the mountain now. Osse is about to start his last boss fight before getting to Gan's Tower. Osse has already climbed the mountain, so this
Yeah,
is
I
really
think Ossie's just a hair ahead.
Yeah, he gets a rod swap done before the head blows up, so that saves some time having to not wait for the transition.
But it's very close.
So we don't have the bot active for the Gan's Tower big key guessing game, so it is really going to depend on which runner enters in first, and we'll be going by that count. So if the runner who enters second gets the big key first, it's not going to be the correct number. But yeah, do enter your guesses in chat for where that big key is going to be.
What's your own guess?
19. I always like 19.
I normally like to guess 22. I guess that would keep it even, so let's go with 22. That would pretty much eliminate the routing. Unless one goes crazy.
I like to see like a pretty full tour of Gan's Tower, but I never go tower room. I just like a runners to have maximum chance of finding silvers and swords. And I'm a big fan of ice armors.
And yeah, it does look like Ossie's going to be just a few seconds ahead, but it is the slimmest of margins.
He's 2 screens ahead of Zelda. This is so tight. But yeah, Ossie's going to be the first one in the tower, so we're going to be going by his count. Right, he enters at 1:21:05. He's going right first. And Zelda enters just 12 seconds later. Okay, first 2 chests, no small key. Both the runners going right, and now they're going to be forced left.
Yep, unless one of them does some very strange routing, then we'll probably see them just use the same one. Butter sword available on the torch. Ossie chooses to grab it.
Yeah, it's really quick to grab that butter sword. It saves time on Ganon, just a little bit of time, like probably 5 or 10 seconds at best, but it makes Ganon pretty lazy in the early phases. Still going to be doing spin strats for the last phase. And regardless of having Temple to Gold Sword, I believe that's always going to be 12 spins.
It is a gold sword does the same damage regardless of whether you spin or not.
Also going forward left now. See if Zelda decides to do a pseudo Dark Magician. Nope, he's going left too.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that. I'd rather see them follow the same route at this point.
They're literally a room apart from each other. This is crazy. This is going to come down to the really small things in execution. How quickly they navigate through the rooms, any little mistakes, how quickly they get through their menus. It's like Zelda lost a little bit of time there by a missed boomerang, so he had to throw it again. Also going into Vanda room. It's not in here, so can't save time by checking out the correct chest first. So on our way to Ice Armos. Bob's just coming up, number 14.
And
Hey, there's silver arrows. So we're going to be looking at some quick cannons here.
more importantly, right this moment, we're going to be looking at some really quick ice armoses.
Oh yeah, that too. Like literally the most convenient spots you could find silver arrows. Also gets the job done quickly. 15 to 17 chests coming up here. It's on the right side, so Dark Magician would have saved time here. Although the silver arrows are a big find, so...
I mean, we don't know that yet. Most Dark Magicians don't do Tile Room until 22 either.
True. I didn't like to think about Tile Room, man. Nobody likes to think about Tile Room. Unless they are doing the craziest of gambles. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I have seen a race decided by Tile Room very recently because one runner decided to go for it extremely early and the other one didn't. It was that close. Either Zelda or also taking that crazy gamble for. So bombs, red rupee, big key, number 20.
Yep. And grabs a small key out of that last chest, because if he had just mirrored without grabbing that, would have been at 0.
Alright. Ossie gets into the second mimic room at 125.45. Gonna time how far behind Zelga's behind.
And for the big key guessing game, looks like it's Unratu Tox. I'm sorry if I am butchering that name.
Difference here is about 11.5 seconds. It is so ridiculously close between our runners. Execution is everything here now.
Yeah,
I don't believe Zelda has the powder, so I think that's Ossie's only advantage here.
Zelda does have the powder.
Okay. But still, if one of our runners has to choose to stop and powder something to get some health back and the other one doesn't need to, that's some time saved. Also, he's making use of a silver arrows here to go through the rooms with his Zazax, whilst Zelga's using forward strats.
Yep,
You have to wait a little time for the Zazax to burn before it actually dies and the door opens. It does instantly kill Stalfos without them burnings.
Ossie misses the one cycle landmo with silver arrows, so
yeah,
the
this
chance
is
for
Zelga's
Zelda to
chance.
regain some time.
1, 2, 3. Zelga gains time. Also gets through this door at 1:27:31. Zelga 1:27:39.
So that's about one cycle difference on Aga too. It's going to be a very fast Ganon fight with Butter, Sword, and Silvers. Butter doesn't really save time over Tempered in the best case, but it does make it much easier to get the 1+1 cycle.
You only need 6 regular swings per phase as compared to 12. You can fit all 12 in one cycle on each phase, but it's Butter Sword just makes it free and easy. He spends a little bit of time powdering those two anti-phase and the bunny beam. Zelda doesn't. Time gained.
Zelda doesn't even pick up the magic refill there with half magic and the current loadout of weapons. Moldorm's exploding at the same time. Osse still slightly ahead.
Gets through the door at 128.55. Zelda gets through at 128.58. Oh my god. This is so close. This is going to be a crazy close finish between these two. Okay, was that a single or double or triple? I really couldn't tell. I'm pretty sure that was a double for Zelda. Oh, Zelda misses a cycle.
Oh. And Osse's got it.
Yeah. That must have been 2 triples for Osse. So, Buttersword Silver's Ganon. It's going to be hard for Zelda to catch up here.
Yeah, if he can get like 2 doubles and Osse needs 3 sets of silver arrows, maybe.
Osse getting those spin dashes off onto Ganon. Doesn't need to worry too much about dodging the fire bats here. So he's into phase 3. I think the only way this could go wrong for Osse now is if he mistimes his sword swing and gets a fire bat in the face. But that won't really save. That won't really save Zelgadissan enough time.
Yep, and into phase 4.
1 hit. Osse doesn't get to horse glitch, but it doesn't matter here. Gets a double.
And that'll do it.
Oh! Oh no! Osse crosses the bridge and he finishes his seed. I'll have the official SOL time in a second. But oh, that's gotta sting so much for Zelda. That's like taking a Ganon for right at the last second, and during the time he's falling, he's probably seen that that the other one has finished. Oh, that's gotta feel so bad for him. But GG's to Osse nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And Osse finished with an official time of 1:31:21.
I think the gap between them was far enough that it wouldn't have been a tiebreaker if Zelda hadn't taken that fall there. Just that one extra cycle on Aga to cost Zelda the possible tiebreaker win here. But oh man, this was so close.
Yeah, that was a really excellent race through the tower. Zelgadissan heading into, well, once Ganon stops warping, you do get a different warp pattern on this fight after the first attempt.
Gan's in a nice place for a double. Oh, even a triple.
It's the triple, and that'll finish it off. Get your GGs in chat for Zelgadissan.
GG, very well fought. It just came down to a tiny bit of routing, better routing for on Osse's side, and that one Ganon fall. But honestly, so close. Top tier play by top tier runners.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great to watch. Especially the gauntlet run section was just masterfully executed, with Osse coming in with just a slim lead and Zelgadis catching up throughout up until the Aga.
We're joined by both Zelda and Osse now. GG, both of you.
Yo, GG's, Osse.
GG, Zelda. That was a nice GT climb race we had going. That's where I joined in the race stream.
Yeah, I saw the restream. I think you were doing Trinex and I was doing Argus, basically, when I joined the restreams. That was a really good ending.
Yeah, Osse had to double clear Turtle Rock because he went in without the fire rods, and you had slightly worse routing of getting the flippers. That was aside from the that unfortunate Ganon fall, that was pretty much the key difference between you two. Like the Ganon's tower climbs were both in sync. It was wonderful to see.
Yeah, for me, I'll be honest, I pulled one of the bigger dumbs I've done in a while, and I totally forgot East Dark World access was a thing that you could do through AGA. So I hard last location that and kind of forgot about it. Like I was going to my menu, making sure what was going on there. So, yeah. So that's why I hard YOLO'd into Ice Palace after Pod, which really narrowed down where the flippers could be, but I think I hard last location where the flippers could be.
Yeah. I didn't think about the AGA logic to Pod right away, but it fit in with my routing. But at the time, I was worried that having done Desert put me behind, and so that's why I rushed back to check Powder and happened to get flippers while I was there.
Yeah, y'all basically. I think Osse got the flippers just a little ahead, but traded those items at about the same time.
Yeah, looking back at the time difference, I feel like if I skip Hera Basement, or if somehow I bring myself to do over like Hammer Pegs and Powder before I go up the mountain, somehow I pull out a win out of this disaster. But I can't complain. This ended up being a really exciting race, so just glad to take part.
Yeah. And like I had the option of going to Ice Palace before going up the mountain. There's like 3 checks on the mountain plus whatever Turtle Rock was. And it's 3 checks in ice. So I had the option, but it was dependent.
What made you decide to skip the Hera Basement?
I was still feeling behind, so I just had to skip something.
That's totally fair, and that did gain you about, I guess, what is that, about 45 seconds to a minute?
It was the time I needed.
Yeah, subtract a Ganon fall, and that's the difference. So it was totally worth the play.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was trash of some kind.
Yeah, arrows, I think. Yeah, that Ganon fall was really unfortunate. My first fire rod shot got eaten, like the input, and then when I tried to quickly restore it, I just wasn't paying attention to where he was warping, and he just phased right on top of me. So I can't remember the last time I felt a Ganon, but it doesn't seem like it would have mattered in the end. It just would have been like a 5 to 10 second loss instead of 2 minutes, which in the grand scheme of things is totally irrelevant. So I guess that's a good time to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Ganon was exploding at the time that you took the fall at least on the restream, and I think it was pretty well synced. Trying to remember. Well, you two both gave a demonstration of different ways to get across that river. I believe Zelgadis did the queer and bomb jump, and Osse did the splash deletion. Both of you did it pretty flawlessly. Those your preferred methods, or was it just based on your item setups at the time?
I actually haven't tried that before right there. Like, normally I do the kern jump, and this is the first seed that put me in a situation where I'd want to cross. And I just figured splash deletion's faster than setting up the pixel for the current jump.
Yeah, if I had thought about it, like it hit me way too late about that I need to do that. Like I was literally in the process of setting up the jump when I realized, A, I could splash delete this, and B, this was totally in logic through AGA. That's about the time I realized it as well. So I think the splash deletion was probably the faster method.
Any other thoughts on the seed? Any other feelings regarding it?
Not really. It sounds like we both feel absolutely awful, and we can look forward to game 2.
Looking forward to another close race in game 2.
Have you decided on settings for game 2, or still thinking that over?
I'm still thinking it over. I would probably, if I change anything, it would probably either be switching to standard mode or maybe maps compasses. But there's a pretty decent chance that I just leave everything alone, to be honest.
Totally fair. Well, I'm definitely going to look forward to that one. That was a lot of fun to watch that particular seed. Have you picked a time, or all that's still in the works?
Yeah, game 2 is same time tomorrow. Like roughly 7:20 would be when a restream would be there. I don't know if we have a restream, but if not, obviously you can just check out our channels if you really want to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody should give both of these runners a follow, as well as I'm going to give so that's zelgadissan and Osse101, as well as giving a shout out to our tracker who was pushing all the buttons. We went with a little bit of technical difficulty showing that work. That's Iceman_F1, as well as my co-commentator, Revolving Oscillate.
Yeah, and thank you too for the excellent co-coms. We have got more tournament action happening tonight. We just shortly here on Speed Gaming 3, in about 20 minutes, we have This Is Not Yoho versus Swerb. And in an hour and 20 minutes on Speed Gaming 4, there's going to be Cadenza versus JP. So do make sure to check out those races if you want to see more tournament action. On that, I think we're going to wrap things up here. So fantastic race. GG to both Rossi and zelgadissan. Really looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, GG's. Thanks for the tracking, commentary, restream. Really appreciate it.
And yeah, good night, everybody. Other than that.